Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
While you're in sunny Florida, be sure to visit
Warlando! Enter into a world of epic adventure.
What else do you want to know about the characters, or can we just go ahead and state basically, what they are, and then we go into details later as the show progresses?
Yeah, just the name, race, and class.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Yeah, Mark, just do what the teacher says. Don't do anything extra.
Just trying not to do extra. I'm thinking ahead.
No bonus points here.
Oh, come on.
Can't get inspiration or any rerolls.
Damn it.
No gold stars for the classroom wall.
Mark, don't roll any dice at all, for God's sakes.
No, I put all the dice away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Warlando. We have a very special show tonight. We have completed our Curse of Strahd campaign, so we brought the whole D&D group together, and we're going to recap our whole adventure. So why don't we start off with you, Mark? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, this is Mark, Warlando Mark. I had the honor of playing the healer. Yes, I played Gundrick the Dawnbringer, the devout follower of Lathander in this cursed realm. And he was the cleric, dwarven cleric of the party.
And Nicholas?
I'm Nicholas, and Warlando Nick, as others may remember. It's been a while in quarantine. I don't know how long it's been. It's been years. Anyway, my character's name is Nash, and Salthu Nash. Call me Nash for short. I'm a half-orc druid.
Nice. And then Dad, also known as George.
Hi, I'm George. I'm a 70-year-old novice to the sport. I played Talbot, who ended up being a level 9 ranger. And I had a great time.
Nice. Jamie?
Sorry, I'm Jamie, Nicholas's wife, and also a noob. I was Bailey Bramblethorn, a halfling bard, and I also had a blast. I really enjoyed this.
And then Killian?
Hi, I'm Killian. I am Orlando Mark's son, and I play Clark Anglesmith, the beefy paladin.
The beefy paladin.
Yes.
And then Dungeon Master Extraordinaire.
Hello, everybody. This is Matt. I played all the monsters.
And all the NPCs with many multiple accents.
Half the good guys.
Yeah. Good, is... I like to think all these guys are on the ethical spectrum, right?
Somewhat.
If you say so.
They're on that spectrum. Totally unethical is on the ethics spectrum, right?
That's true.
Technically it is.
So we're going to do a kind of recap of the campaign and talk about all of our joys and questions we have for Matt for all the threads we didn't get to fully follow throughout the campaign. First question I have for you, Matt. When did we start this?
Man, I think the first episode, if memory serves, would have been in late August of 17?
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
18, sorry, 18, right?
Late August of 18.
No.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, full year and a half. And, oh man, I totally skipped myself. I'm Adam, and I played Viandir El Ansar, the elf fighter rogue. Because I'm recording this, I can edit it, so I can put it back in so I sound smart.
Awesome.
Do I have inspiration? Because I might need to pull that card.
So what, Matt, why don't you give us your feedback? What did you think of the campaign?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I had so much fun just introducing new people to the game and getting to know everybody a little bit better through the course of it. But man, it was really a accomplishment for me to actually get a group through this campaign, because I fell in love with it when it was first published and had been basically nipping at everybody's heels for the better part of a couple of years before we finally got this group together and did it kind of more or less to my vision. And man, it's really gratifying, and I am already missing it. We've been done for about 2 weeks now, something like that, and all those times when I would have normally been trying to think up something to screw you guys over, I have nothing to do now. So.
It is kind of sad.
No way to scratch that sadist itch.
Yeah, I find myself just kind of looking longingly out the window, just waiting for it to return. But
well, there's still good stuff on the horizon for all of us, so that's a good thing. This is such a unique group because we're all family.
Yeah.
Husband and wife, 2 father sons.
Yeah.
And Matt, who's like everybody's favorite uncle.
Yeah.
and
Uncle DM.
You live in the house that he used to live in.
Yeah, that's true. We're practically family right there. So does anybody have any burning questions? Feel free to jump in. Well, I'll start. The one question I had that was killing me when we were in the... Oh, let me say this too. Spoiler alert for anybody who's listening to this that thinks they're going to play Curse of Strahd. We're going to talk about pretty much that entire book. So if you're planning to play it any time in the future and you're not the Dungeon Master, stop listening now.
Yep.
And head over to our Teespring website.
And delete this podcast.
Yes,
Don't forget to like.
Yeah, long before you leave the show, go to Teespring, buy a T-shirt, or support us on Ko-Fi. There you go. So, okay, we were in the Amber Temple, and there was one hallway that we went around, and we found a secret door on the other side of the hallway. And I said, no, we're not going back around the other way. That hallway's definitely trapped. I don't know if you remember that very specifically. Were there any hallway traps there? So random question.
I don't remember the specific area that you're talking about. The thing that's springing to mind that you guys just went right by and decided not to go explore was a treasure vault.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I mean, not like we didn't get enough treasure.
That's
right.
true.
Yeah.
Right. At that point in the campaign, you hadn't. I mean, a lot of people still didn't have stuff.
Oh wow!
And
was anything magical in it?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Tell me there was a magic rapier. If there was a magic rapier in there, I would lose my mind right now.
You might be just as upset when I tell you this. So it was a little bit of a two-parter. But when y'all met the Wizard's Apprentice in the altar, you guys remember that guy? And you guys, kind of said, this guy seems sketchy. We don't trust him. We don't want him coming with us. So he was wearing an amulet, which I described a couple of times.
Oh, no.
The amulet was actually a control gem for a shield guardian, which, for those of us that might not know, is a giant wizard's robot that can store spells, and you can ride around it and it heals you.
What? It's like a wizard mech.
Yeah, and that was also in the treasure vault in there. So you guys totally could have been my favorite version that could have been there was Bailey with the shield guardian doing Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, riding her.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster. So
one
epic. Sorry.
I think you guys were too. You guys might have been a little, and maybe this is for the group, because I think, my question right now that popped in my head was, what the heck were you guys thinking when I found this staff that made me seek power? That's the staff just gave me this desire for power, and so that's why I was acting so weird that whole time. was because I had this staff that just made me want power. So we went to visit this guy, right? And
well, it was his master's staff,
and
wasn't
it was
it?
his master's staff, and he kept asking for it, and I was like, "Get out of here! No way! Rah, it's mine! You got to take it from me!" And you guys were just all like, "Well, this is kind of getting weird. Nash is smelling weird. He's acting weird.
I just want to let you know, Nash, I had Fireball prepared at all times. So
I got a lot of instant messages just saying,
Yeah.
"Hey,
I'm ready, Fireball."
What was
No.
what was going on behind the scenes?
That never crossed my mind.
I think I was left out of that plan too.
Well, so sometimes you gotta,
Why don't we
just got to be prepared.
will you follow that thread between Nash and the Dungeon Master? What all happened behind the scenes there?
yeah, I'll set it up, and then you tell me what you were thinking, Nick." You communicated a lot of it, but I'm curious about what you were thinking. But so the other piece of you becoming basically super greedy as a result of getting this staff and being cursed was that you wanted to commune with every dark spirit in the Amber Temple, which was a lot of dark spirits. Like it was basically like a server rack full of evil.
Yeah.
And Nash is just plugging his hard drive in left and right.
Just download.
So many viruses.
Yeah. So what were you thinking like when that was going down, or what were you, how'd you process that?
I mean, I felt like I needed to fill the part, which was to take it to the beginning. We were in that hallway, and the guy was like dead.
The wizard.
The wizard was dead, and we all were kind of looking at him. And then one of you guys, it might have been Gundrick or somebody, you mentioned the staff, and then went, "Oh yeah, Nash should have the staff." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." And so
because you have Shillelagh.
Yeah, I have Shillelagh, and you guys were like, "Well, you could just Shillelagh the staff," and there you go. So you guys gave me the staff, and then immediately, I get this direct message from Matt, and he's like,
"Oh no!"
Tells me like, "You have this staff, and you now are like overcome by greed for power." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So it just kind of took me a little bit to kind of like fill the persona, but as we were walking through, and all of these sarcophagi are laden with power, I was like, I mean, yes, I want the power. And so after I was a little hesitant at first, I touched the first one, and Matt was like, he texted me and was like, "Yeah, you've got like this lightning bolt power." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then I think I touched the next one, and he's like, "You've now got like wall climbing power, like a spider." And I was like, "Okay." And so then that's why every time we went in, I was like, no, guys. Because I didn't know if these were like single giveaways. So in my head, I'm thinking, no. You guys don't worry about that. I'll be the one that sacrifices and takes the power.
Yeah, I remember at one point I was in the room with you, and I said, "Well, here, I'll do one," and you're like, "No."
No. Stand back. This is we want you to stay safe. So that's when it was like Casimir was like, he had to touch one. So I think I still was like, no, let me touch it first, Casimir. Because
good.
I need the power.
And Casimir was one of our many NPCs that was following along with us.
Yeah. And the part that maybe got glossed over, but I'm a big believer in letting the dice tell the story at a certain point. But if you'll remember, every time you touched one of those, you had to make a saving throw. And miraculously, I think, I don't know how many ended up touching, but like 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Made the saving throw every time.
What would have happened if he failed?
Yeah.
And if I'm quoting correctly, I believe the text in the book says, failing a saving throw means the character becomes an evil NPC under the Dungeon Master's control.
Oh.
For the rest of the game?
Whoa.
Oh. Oh, you got so lucky.
And I was just like, mine.
You were touching everything. You were like a little kid in the Toys R Us.
Because I do remember you being very particular on me making those saving throws. It wasn't like, yeah, whatever. You don't have to. It was like, no, make a saving throw. You were like ready to take my character sheet from me.
Yeah. And I didn't actually have a plan if your character was taken away from you. I did want. Let's be honest. The best moment for any is when you take somebody's paper-made character sheet away that they've done by hand and just. And say, you can still play, but you can start at level 1.
So what did you think every time I went to go touch it?
Yeah, there was a part of me that wanted to fudge those rolls after a certain point because I was just like, first of all, like he's getting a lot of mic time. Second of all, like I really didn't know what would happen having you have that much stuff. But I think I learned that it actually was fine because it was throttled, that like you had all of this crazy stuff, but it was all in you. So you never even really got a chance to use most of it, right?
Yeah, only one thing can come out at a time.
Right. So it kind of worked. It was a little bit of smart design that I didn't see the first time through. So
yeah.
Did he ever regain his teeth once he expended all those powers? Or
Just
no?
the one.
Just the one.
I think we in the epilogue we decided that you eventually burned all your powers away and slowly started to regain your original form.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he got his teeth back.
One of the best
That can
mechanics
still be an adventure for you.
Yeah.
of recovering all your
After
teeth.
covering his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finding every single one. I have to travel back through Barovia.
Back through the plains of existence.
One of the things
Nash's teeth have been spread.
You find the left bicuspid.
Yeah.
for our listeners that
For Nash's
there's
teeth.
a game mechanic that every time he communed with one of these spirits, it would alter him physically. So he was losing his teeth and he was starting to stink and he looked like a zombie. And what were some of the others?
His eyes, right? Third
Yeah.
eye. Yeah.
And I looked
was
deathly
melting.
like I looked like undead, basically.
Yeah.
Your eyes changed color too, right?
Yeah.
You had a twitch, you know?
Oh, the twitch!
Yeah. And the flies.
So when we
Nice.
walked through the Lich's chamber and I saw that book, I was like, I gotta have that book.
That's great.
So that's why I was like so keen on
Oh yeah, when you peeled off by yourself.
breaking away from the party to go get that book, was because I had to have that book.
That's
And
good
then
role playing.
why, I think when we left the temple, Rahadim showed up, right? And was like, give me the book. And I was like, nay! And
Because he turned into a horse. No.
yeah. But then that's also why I split the party from the party and went to the Circle of Stones.
And we're captured.
Because to me, the final step towards power was to go back to where I found that blood spear and was given the opportunity from Strahd to take on the power of the land.
Yeah.
So
But that, yeah, and I don't think it was public because I think we were doing this on the side.
yeah.
And so I guess to give you guys in, like to let you guys in on it, I was communicating with Matt going, can I break away from the party? And he was like, okay, well, when do you want to do it? And I was like, wow, maybe like at night. And then he's like, well, Viandir is like at watch, so you have to make a stealth check and see if you can get by Viandir.
And
so I
right
think
at that time, I'm at work, and I'm getting these frantic texts from Matt. Roll a perception check. Roll a perception check right now. Like, I'm trying to work here.
And you always carry a D20 on you, so
I do. I lost my D20. I don't know what I did. I dropped it. Yeah.
Maybe it's with teeth.
Probably, yeah. I'll have to go back to Barovia to find my D20. Not that I don't have, like, a pound of D20s sitting back here.
So then I snuck away and I went to the Circle of Stones and I communed with, I met with Strahd. And then I think I tried to see like one last moment, I think, before I accepted it. I asked, I can't remember exactly what I asked you, Matt. Like, if I sensed that danger was afoot, if I accepted this.
Yeah, and from my perspective, that was when I kind of said screw it with the dice rolls a little bit. I just said, look, are you evil?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to force it on you, but you were it a little bit in, like, playing it honestly, but definitely going in that direction. You hadn't like hurt anybody yet, but it was kind of going that way. Yeah, and then you just had that moment to decide to either accept Strahd's offer and accept dominion over the land, or basically face single combat with him.
What would have been the accepting of the offer? What would have happened?
He would have, I think mechanically, I would have had him have a lot of the stuff that Strahd could do, like summoning clouds and lightning and things like that. Dominion over beasts, just more free-flowing, things like that. But that's one of the big elements that kind of is narrative and essential to the campaign, is that Strahd isn't just the ruler of Barovia. Strahd is the land. He's bound to it. At that point, he wanted to give it away. And his whole plan was to leave Barovia and be done with it. But he wanted somebody else to take up his mantle. And part of the whole thing was he was evaluating everybody all the time to decide who would be most likely to, carry on Barovia in his image.
And that was Nash.
Yeah. That color certainly was. Yep. I don't think anybody else really came too close to going to the dark side.
Strahd,
Well, I think in that moment I decided. I decided I wanted to defeat Strahd, right, rather than take his power or accept his power. I wanted to defeat him.
Right. You chose to fight him, and then he
just slapped me.
Immediately kicked your ass and threw you in the dungeon.
Yep. That's about right.
So does anybody else have any burning questions for Dungeon Master Matt? Or how about any favorite moments?
What would have happened if we had let the hags live at the windmill?
Yeah, the honest answer is I don't really know. I think at that point, that was pretty early in the campaign, and we were just kind of getting our feet underneath us. And I remember what I wanted to accomplish there was to everybody sort of like find where they really were in terms of morality. Because that's a big element of this campaign, is just, you come in thinking this is your character, and then you're asked to compromise yourself a little bit along the way all the time. And when do you make a stand, and when do you say, no, that's too much, or I'm willing to do that. And I think that's really more what I was after at that moment. If you had let them live, I mean, they're hags. They probably would have found a way to betray you later.
Yeah.
Story element, they're not nice things. But you guys clearly have the upper hand on them there.
It was a great, like you were saying, a great character moment for us, because these are women that capture and cook children and then feed them back to their parents. So then, where does that leave us? How do we let them just keep being, give them back their autonomy? But we're not jailers, so what do we do? Great moral.
And maybe part of it, what I left out, I forgot about till just now, was they would have given you really important information that it took you like a long time to figure out otherwise. So one of the hags, in exchange for her life, was offering up some pretty detailed stuff that you guys didn't know for a long time after that.
It was worth it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think that was the fight where I was like, we're going to be an unstoppable group. We came in, I think somebody cast like can't speak or something like that, and then all of a sudden
right?
the silence spell.
Yeah, that was
Gundrick,
Mark.
right?
Yep, Gundrick.
And it was like right in the doorway, and we basically, it just was like a little murder hole.
I mean, yeah, because the hags couldn't cast anything.
Yeah. And we just,
that combat went on for like 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, which is like unheard of. And I knew this going in, but I mean, lots of people who've run this that I read about were like, yeah, everybody died at the hags.
Oh,
I could tell, like
lots of PKs.
like you saying that, like it went on for a long time, and that's with the silent spell on, where they went rounds where they could not cast any spells. That's huge. If they were laying out some spells that whole time, I could easily see us getting TPK'd.
because we were only level 2 or so at that point, right? Even? Not even? Maybe still level 1?
You probably were level 3 or 4, I think, something like that.
Oh,
okay.
But,
a little bit along.
I mean, Talbot almost got killed in the first round in one shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I forgot until now, but Bailey, you barely avoided being turned into a frog.
Oh, yeah.
Like, barely, by like 1 on the dice roll or something like that.
Yeah, I was lying out in the field, waiting for a recovery against the hags. So.
Just bleeding out.
Yeah.
Staring at the clouds.
I got hit by lightning for about a half hour. So
Yeah.
Lightning.
Oh, so much lightning.
A level 4 character taking a lightning bolt to the chops will do that to you.
This game has so much lightning. There was so much lightning. And I the first time we opened a door and got struck by lightning, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The second time we opened a door and got struck by lightning, I'm like, okay, this is getting to be lazy writing. And then we're in the Amber Temple, and we got this whole elaborate thing planned. And we're like, all right, we're going to go into this room now. Bam! Struck by lightning. There was so much lightning in this campaign.
Yeah, that was probably, that moment that you're talking about in the Amber Temple is probably when I felt the worst for you guys.
I was so excited about our plan.
You had a great plan. It was great, and you were elements of role playing and neat little one-off magic items that you found and all kinds of stuff. But yeah,
it was just that room.
Was that
Extra crispy.
Was that statue in the room only like pointed in one direction? Because I know at some point we came around behind the statue, and we were all still a little worried.
Yep.
So the deal with the statue was there was a creature called an Arcanoloth, which was living in the statue's head, and was one of the guardians of the temple that was up there in secret that nobody knew about. And so it acted a lot like a trap. It seemed like a trapped room. There's no way you guys could have known it wasn't just a trapped room, but really there was this like level 17 spellcaster sitting up there just watching you guys with like true vision, just like these guys.
With true vision. Yeah, so
true
if it didn't have that true sight, it would have thought, oh, Strahd's here. Because our whole plan, like I've been thinking about it a week leading up to this. I'm like, oh, here's what we could do. Because I had the hat of disguise, so I thought, I'll make myself look like Strahd. And then Nash, as a druid, could turn into a dire wolf, who's like my companion. And then Bailey, the halfling, was going to hide under my robes, so we could just walk in and ambush people, thinking, oh, the boss is here. Nope, it's not. Haha. But then, instead, lightning bolt. I've already made a decision. I got struck by lightning so many times in this campaign that every PC I make after this is going to be a dragonborn that breathes lightning, so he's immune to lightning.
Nice.
This is the Tomb of Horrors effect, right? Like you guys are so scarred that you're never going to trust anything I tell you ever again.
We're never going to trust any door. And then we get to the tower, right? That
Yep.
Oh, Rictavio's tower.
Rictavio's tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shot again.
Did you guys know that Did I tell you that Did you know that the werewolf that was in the cell with me?
Oh, he was from the Den of the Night, or the Mother's.
He was like that queen wolf that we killed. It was her husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we mentioned maybe we shouldn't tell them about all the werewolves we killed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make. I didn't know if I had said that out loud, but I don't think I told him. What would he have done if he found out that we killed him or killed his family?
Pack.
Yeah, I had a little sketch off to the side of that to use if it made sense, but and we never got to it. And at some point, I just had to start editing stuff out and not use things.
Yeah,
I mean, I was gonna have him return to the castle and then like ambush you guys, or maybe just you specifically at one point.
Oh, okay.
And just enraged that you killed his wife. But yeah, it just didn't make it. It's on the cutting room floor somewhere.
Yeah. All right.
I was really thinking you were somehow he was going to die on the way out or something.
Oh, like I was just going to let him go?
Something, yeah. But
yeah, I guess I just was like, I was a little torn because I don't know. Like, I wanted it to be like, it was interesting trying to play a neutral character. Like, because I don't think a neutral character, like, doesn't necessarily not feel anything or not like anybody. I think it just doesn't, it doesn't hold its hat on of values on any certain like god or being or anything like that. So I kind of personified it as my good came from the people that were my friends and the beings that were alive. Like I tried to think like animals were good, just for being an animal. They weren't innately necessarily evil unless they did something bad. So this guy hadn't really done anything bad yet to me. So I didn't want to just drop him off the tower. I don't know.
Or tell him the truth.
Yeah.
So, Killian, what were some of your favorite moments?
I definitely like the part with the hags. I felt like that part let me bring out my character in Clark. He's lawful good, and so I feel like he'd be kind of a justice seeker in a way. So the cool speech that I did once I killed the final hag, I felt that that was like a really great introduction of Clark.
That was very satisfying.
It was.
Listening to that.
What was your war cry coming in there? I remember it being hilarious.
Health inspection.
Yeah.
Right.
That was glorious. Yeah, I gotta say, DM, you really left that on what a cliffhanger at the moment, and we thought he thought all week about it. Just as this moral dilemma of what to do next. Do we kill these hags? There are prisoners now, so it was very timely crafted little end to that one episode, and gave us enough time to just think about the next one. So yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do when you guys were into it, when we would end a session and I'd immediately get a bunch of Slack messages.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, the mind's going. I got all these questions. Yep. So that was good stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
I did love all the cliffhangers and the episode puns.
The titles for the next episodes.
The titles were great.
Yeah, Matt between.
Did you enjoy making those?
It was my solitary pleasure for a year and a half. I would torture myself over them. I'd sit out back with my wife and friends that I wasn't playing with, and I'd just be like, "All right, guys, here's what's happening. What do you think? What should the?" I can't take credit for all of them. I got some really good ones just from other people that I was just like, "Oh, that's way better than what I was thinking."
Yeah. So to run it down for anybody who might be listening that's not already on the show, Matt, between sessions, Matt would give us a plot recap, which was fantastic to read. And then for the following session, would give us a TV guide version of the title with the episode number. How many episodes did we get up to, Matt?
42.
42. Yeah. 42 sessions.
Perfect number.
Some of my favorite titles were The Vampire Strikes Back. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember any others? There's a bunch in there.
Well, we
had Schrodinger's Coffin. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Some of them were a little, just right down the middle. But I tried to go for puns whenever I could, or just make references to other, pop culture stuff that I was thinking about when I was getting ready for the episodes. Oh, here's a good one I forgot about: staph infection. STA.
Oh.
That's great. So, Talbot, what were some of your favorite moments?
Well, everything was a learning for me. So every week, I would think I got this all figured out, and then I get my ass kicked, and then I didn't know what was going on at all. But I just thought I just need some magic. And
I know.
I never found any. So.
I felt that same way throughout most of the campaign. I'm like, I just need a +1 weapon. If I could just get a +1 weapon, I could be doing full damage all the time. But you weren't out there.
Did you get that +1 weapon?
I did. Finally, I got a +1 short sword. Right, 2 sessions before the end. But hey,
right where it counted.
Yep. Yeah. At least I had it in time to face the last couple big bad guys. I was able to do full damage. But up until then, that's half damage. You can tell it's half damage. Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was rough. We didn't have all the magical items, and we were just plugging away at them, making tremendous hits and rolling great damage. And it's like, that's halved.
Yep.
He's good for that.
Exactly.
Yep, just 6 half.
Yeah, there was a lot of the recurring monsters, the werewolves and the vampire spawns and things, all had resistance to non-magical damage.
Yeah.
But it was fun to sort of limit the economy a little bit in that way, because it made you guys really, try to optimize each other and be like, well, you know what, the first magic weapon we get should probably be Clark, just he's dealing out massive damage, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But then, Beyond Ear found, Adam's character found other ways to be effective other than just hitting things, right? Ways, right?
Really like the Battle Master subclass for the fighter, because you have so many options, so many ways to, other than causing damage or other than being just a meat shield, you can really add some elements of control. Like that one, my favorite was the one that let me give an attack to Clark. I could just keep doing that. That really made a big difference.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
One thing, Matt.
Yeah, definitely.
You're such an efficient gamer in the combat, and then all these people have these powers that are like, he's got to make a saving throw to save it, and you're like, before, as soon as someone says, all right, save DC 14, you're like, saved. Oh man, didn't even get to savor the moment. Is he gonna make it? Is he not gonna make it? No, saved it.
Oh yes, probably to work on the drama there a little bit. I think that's actually good feedback, because I'm generally so focused on trying to get through the order as fast as I can, because we had 6 players.
Yeah,
and I didn't want anybody standing around for too long. That I was just like, the monster misses, you miss, let's keep going. But that's, I'll have to remember that for the future, to savor the moment.
It's not a criticism, and it's not something that I feel like you need to change. It was just like, oh man, half damage, saved it, half damage, saved it again.
Yeah. Off to the next person, what's your turn?
Yep.
Yep.
So whose ability was it? I think it was Clark's, somebody was giving us like +10 to our like dex saves or something like that. What was that?
Gundrick? Oh yeah,
or Gundrick. Maybe that was Gundrick.
No, but anything dexterity certainly wasn't me.
Oh no, that was from Talbot. Talbot when we were doing Pass Without Trace.
Pass without a trace.
Oh yeah. That was Talbot's ability. That was a ranger ability, right? Pass without a trace, and then
everybody, even the dwarves, the paladins, everybody got an extra 10 for dexterity.
Yeah,
Which was like,
it's amazing.
Yeah, because there were a lot of attacks that came down that were dex saves that did like a massive amount of damage.
Yep. Yeah, that's a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of those spells, like lightning, I think it is. Yeah, a dex save. You didn't have that up at that point, though.
Nope.
See, D&D Beyond felt so sorry for me. I looked at my sheet one day, and I made it to Matt too. That over in the corner it says lightning doesn't strike. He's not affected by lightning. And I'm going, where did that come from?
Yeah,
I've been hit by lightning about 90 times.
Oh yeah.
There's just this little thing on the side of the screen, side of my sheet that said lightning not effective. I said, I don't think that's true.
Did we ever figure out what that was?
Came from, but there it was on the sheet.
You just felt bad for us, so you wanted to. You wanted to play hurt too, like
I think Beyond felt bad for me and just put it in there.
Oh yeah,
It was like a handicap in golf. It's just like all of a sudden you're like, okay, that's enough lightning damage.
And then it said, and bludgeoning. Bludgeoning doesn't hurt me either. And I'm going, I don't have any armor, and I got a piece of leather shirt on. It's all right. Yeah, I get bludgeoned all the time.
What about you, Jamie? Do you have any favorite funny moments?
I actually really liked going through the Amber Temple. That felt, I don't know, it was really interesting because there were so many different encounters that we had in it. You know, like with the barbarians, and then there's the floating skulls,
yeah,
flame skulls. Yeah. There were just so many different things going on inside the Amber Temple, and I don't know, I kind of didn't see that coming. I wasn't really sure what to expect because I don't think I'd ever done much of a dungeon crawl before. So that was really interesting to me to see all those different elements and the different things to find and stuff like that. I really liked the Amber Temple part.
And that was like a classic dungeon crawl moment.
Yeah, the only two really dungeons in the Dungeons and Dragons game that we played were both right at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Amber Temple, which was a proper dungeon crawl, and then of course the castle, right? But until that, it was a way more like wide open. You know, you guys are in a town, you guys are
off in the woods
in an abbey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, and I did really enjoy bringing democracy to Vallaki.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
It was fun. Yeah.
Let's stop playing D&D for a while and do our we're gonna start a new democracy in the middle of this fantasy village.
We went very George Lucas in episode 1 there with the politics.
We actually thought it was going to hold.
Well,
in fact, they didn't kill. Everybody killed each other as soon as we left.
You need to linger there for a moment because I want to say I didn't expect having to come up with parliamentary procedures for a Dungeons and Dragons world.
Was anything in there, Matt, about that in the book? That might happen?
There's a couple things if they do this, then this probably happens, or if they do that, then that probably happens. But no, you guys went right down that hole of we're not leaving justice. We're not leaving this down in chaos. You were anti-murder hobos. We're gonna
any other proper murder hobo group would have just burnt the whole thing to the ground and walked away.
Yep.
Right.
Problem solved.
After looting.
What would What would Benjamin Franklin do? That's what most D&D players think, right?
He would have gone to another country and slept with the royalty.
But he could.
There's
He knew his
NPC called the founding father. That's not in there.
But you know what? It's appropriate that he's the one I thought of because he really understood lightning, unlike the rest of us.
Yeah. He's the one who dealt with lightning.
Yeah.
He held the key.
So about Valaki, that was where the coach came, right? And we just decided to burn the coach instead of actually getting the coach.
Right.
Viandir.
Beautiful coaching horses. Yeah.
Yeah, don't. It's not like the royal we here. It's
Yeah.
I thought
Bailey was very against pissing off Strahd.
But we all kind of just watched it burn. We didn't really try to stop.
Well, yeah, that's true.
it was definitely one of those dungeon master moments where you're like, hey, let's just go with it, because I had sent you guys like proper like calligraphy scrolls with wax seals on them.
Yeah.
Like, physical things that were delivered to you.
It is
by hand.
It's
And
hanging
it's
up on our dining room wall.
Hey, I invite you to my castle in peace, signed Strahd, like with the wax seal on it and stuff. And here's a carriage to take you there safely. And it's like, fuck that.
You guys should absolutely put a picture up in the show notes, because it is a work of art.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will make sure to do that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we've added it to our wall of geek paraphernalia.
Yes.
Same here.
Well, I saw it behind you guys every time you always had it in the background on Skype.
But at the time, we thought it was trash.
Yeah, I definitely lit mine on fire.
Tore his up, right?
Yeah, mine was kindling for lighting the carriage on fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you actually light it on fire in real life?
No, it's in the shadow box on my wall here.
We're so ungrateful.
We're the most. Oh, thanks, Matt. This is from Strahd. Whoosh. Gone.
Yeah.
What would have happened if we'd accepted the invitation and gone at that point?
So do you guys remember the scene when you first come to the castle where you have dinner?
Mm-hmm.
With Strahd? That scene would have happened like 5 levels sooner.
That would have been rough.
20 episodes. Yeah.
Would he have attacked us, or?
Do you really
for dinner?
Yeah.
Sorry?
You want to know?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. We're supposed to get the juicy details.
just dragging it out for another 15 seconds. That's all.
He's letting Adam savor it.
There you go. Good job.
Nice commercial break. No, it was a trap.
Yeah.
Good call, Bernie, there, Dad.
You would have been in the castle a little bit earlier. I probably would have been a little more judicious in helping you find ways out. But I think every other group that I read about or listened to in podcasts ended up at the castle multiple times, as opposed to all just at the end, too.
Oh.
So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Multiple times, huh? Like Nash was the only one that got to go multiple times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, you're right.
And Rick Toppin.
And I ended up in that dungeon multiple times.
That's true.
Well, Nash is gone again.
Waka, waka, waka.
He's fine. He's fine.
I want to say one of my very favorite moments. Nash is like the star of this thing, next to Clark maybe, but the rhino.
Oh my God! Yes.
The smaller the area, the bigger the animal.
Yeah.
Where to still live by. If you can barely turn around, put a rhino in there.
I think at that point it was fun to just try and surprise you guys with the kind of animals that I could be, because I could tell none of you were really like looking at the creature list, and I was just like, I'm a swarm of bees or something, and you guys are like, yeah.
I did enjoy the debate on whether you could turn it into an ankylosaurus or not. That was.
Yeah.
But it's on the list. Have you ever seen one before? But it's on the list.
On the list. Seen it.
He saw one in a book.
Yeah.
That was so awesome. So what happened was we were in the Abbey, right? And looks like all right, it's time to leave the Abbey. We need to get out of here. Let's stealth out. And Nash is like, nope. I'm a very stealthy rhino running down the hallway, opening every door on the way through. Good guys, bad guys, we don't know. All the doors are open now.
I had to free.
Not open,
I had
broken.
to free the
Broken.
captives.
Yeah. And then we had to fight like half of the ones you freed.
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah, well, I didn't know which ones were good doors and bad doors.
Yeah. Well, being true neutral, they were all equal doors. So, yeah.
That was a really fun one.
Birds. I'm like that weird bird lady in
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Oh, we had the weird bat lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
like
the prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, the Abbey was really creepy.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
that's probably the creepiest to me.
like an Island of
The
Dr.
Abbey.
Moreau
Yeah.
with the
Everything was very twisted.
and the
I felt like uncomfortable while we were going through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was the-
absolutely.
the
Yep.
bride that was the most awkward thing for me. That like stitched together bride that he had made for Strahd.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a flesh golem, basically.
Yep.
But she was taught to dance and be nice and meant to marry Strahd.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I think
Yeah,
that
it's good enough for her.
that was one of the few sessions we got to do live. Was the Abbey? Like we had a
Yeah,
whole
in
night
person.
at Nick and Jamie's house, and
Oh yeah.
get that out a little bit. Yeah, so that's good to hear. That was a favorite because
Yeah.
that was good.
And that girl still tied up to the chain, like trying to fly away.
I think you guys
Still up
freed
there.
her, right?
Yeah,
I
we
think
freed her.
so. Yeah, we had a chance to.
I thought they just kept pulling her back.
Yep. Yeah, that was another one where I was just like, yeah, that's a sketch off to the side. If I find a good place to throw it in, we'll have her. I'm going to do something interesting, but never really panned out.
But no, she did. Wasn't she among the rescuers at the gate to the castle at the final battle?
Oh yeah, the mongrel folk, weren't they there?
The mongrel folk were there. I don't. If I did, then I forgot. But I don't think I narrated her being there. Maybe I did.
Just
Yeah,
that the
there was-
mongrel folk were there.
That was a cool element. I liked, even though it was kind of just a paragraph that you read, it was kind of fun to visualize that we were this freedom gang that were running around Barovia, and then when we thought like, all right, we're just gonna have to go against this castle, let's do it. Like,
And we thought we were going in alone.
we thought we were going in alone, but it was like, nope, Barovia showed up.
Barovia has risen up.
They have risen up.
Matt, was that in the book or is that something you did?
That's something I did.
Awesome.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Good job.
that was a little bit of like I gotta dump my cup out at some point here. I'm getting too much stuff.
It was like a morale boost though too, because it's like, hey, we're not alone.
yeah, it was like that charge moment in every good movie you've seen with a battle in it, right?
It was,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
definitely an epic scene.
Yeah,
that you
very
painted.
very Star
So-
Wars. Very like this is the final chapter. This is the third act of our epic fantasy adventure. Mark,
Yeah,
did you have any?
there was no way I could ever get back to all of those elements that you guys had done without just going like, okay, let's just split them in half and make them have a battle.
Mark, did you have any favorite moments?
Well, the Abbey was really great. We talked about that. Favorite moments. One of them was the priest of the Abbey. I really like that.
Yeah.
Just that whole celestial that was not exactly good.
Yeah.
And,
It was
and
a surprise. Yeah.
for my character, that was very striking to him, because I knew he had a background in celestial. So at least hearing the song, this replaying song, and I love the way that you weaved all of our backstories into this campaign. That was very masterful, and it really just set the stage and really got our imaginations going. When you drop these little glimmers of our backstory throughout Barovia, so really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks. So that just to tie that up a little bit, there was the abbot was this eternally young figure that was kind of at the head of the abbey, that presented himself as a holy man all the time, but in reality had come to face Strahd long ago, but then ultimately been corrupted by him.
Yeah.
and was doing all these Island of Dr. Moreau experiments on the people that used to be the nuns and the healers of this land, right? He eventually just, over generations, turned them into these kind of squalid creatures, right?
They had to be Strahd's slaves, I guess.
Yeah. Just, and a lot of the things Strahd would do would just be to get an agent somewhere and then let them sow chaos kind of on their own terms, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Baba Yaga, was she affiliated with Strahd or just like a resident?
Yeah. So the full transparency on Baba Yaga was she was actually Strahd's nursemaid as a young child.
Oh.
And is the one who placed the spark of magic in him long ago.
Oh.
Interesting.
So many great characters.
We disposed of her like so fast. I was like, oh, well, this is over. We like immediately took the stone out, stopped the house, and then we like blasted Baba Yaga.
It could have gone just as quickly in the other direction, because I think we were really close to getting the TPK at the same time. It was either we were going to take her out or she was going to get us.
You guys had just the right powers to kind of overcome her big stuff, because if you remember, she was flying around in this like upside down giant skull, dropping spells on you guys, and in that skull she has like 3/4 cover, which is like +5 to armor, right? And but Talbot had just got the ability to ignore cover. So he's like dropping his normal mortars on her, and she's just a spellcaster. She really didn't have a lot of health points, but it worked out because her magically animated tree was also just wreaking havoc on the rest of the party. Like 2 or 3 people were down already.
Yeah, it was like,
I think that was one of the many points that Bailey went down, right?
Yep.
One
of them.
The tree is just basically a siege engine.
It's like an ATST. Stomping around on us.
Just smashing through the melee people. Another bit kind of along the same lines of Baba Yaga there that, again, wanted to get to it but couldn't make it happen. Big spoiler here, but there should have been a moment somewhere for Madame Eva to come back into the fold.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that Madame Eva is actually Strahd's half-sister.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's an ultimate fail on my point, because I wanted to get Jess back into the mix. And like, Madame Eva's here, and then we had this whole thing that we worked out verbally, where I was like, "You come in, and here are your options," and the options were all bad for you guys. But she was she was going to be my dice roll. I was like, "You just look at it and you pick one of these things off the sheet." But it just, she didn't want to do it at the end of the time. We couldn't get the timing upright, so that got left on the cutting room floor as well.
Yeah. Well, that was such a great moment that she got to be our actual. We had an actual card reader come and give us our private Vistani card reading.
Guest reader.
That was good fun. That was
I
great.
think that was my first session with you guys too, so that was like extra cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and that was like the nice thing with the forced perspective of Skype, was like we were just having a session and all of a sudden, like, she just pops in.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
We're so lucky to be alive today that we are, okay, in perspective, we're in the middle of this crazy quarantine right now. You know, we're all worried about, we need to flatten the curve and make sure we're minimizing the number of people that end up getting the COVID-19. But we're still all hanging out together via our computers, and we can all just hang out and talk from our homes. Matt, you're all the way up in Atlanta, and the rest of us are in Central Florida, but all over Central Florida.
Yeah, I mean, the technology is really the only reason this campaign worked long term, right?
Absolutely.
If we had to rely on live sessions, we would have never got through this, right? It's just too hard.
I mean, 1 out of 42 wasn't going to get it finished now. It's going to be a really long night.
Well, we're moving into our Star Wars campaign as our palate cleanser. We're jumping back in. Nicholas, you want to tell us about that?
So we kind of took a break from Star Wars, we kind of ran through a couple of quick missions as Adam, Matt, Mark, Jamie, and I. And so I figured, well, hey, we hadn't quite finished one of the missions, so let's jump back in as a little palate cleanser. You know, give you real DMs a chance to plan for the next
Recuperate and
D&D.
regroup.
Recuperate, chance of rest, but maybe, chance to, research and review the next one. Anyway, we can just kind of play this one. So, but then it'd be great to get George and Killian in on it. So you guys said yes, so we should get your characters up and going. But
I think I need to swap a character that's actually in the game. It's too hard to try and figure out from, it's bad enough he's from a different planet, but now he's from a different universe.
You're trying to figure out
somebody
how to...
that's in the book.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that. If anybody can make a suggestion of what you may need.
So right now we've got a gunslinger, right? Adam, you're
that's
like
me.
Gunslinger.
Yep.
We've got the explosives expert, Tully, played by Mark. Adam's character is Kel.
Yep, Kel.
And Matt, your cults, right?
Yep.
And what's your like a
hustler?
He's got a little bit of a grifter spirit.
Yeah.
He's a sharpshooter too. Yeah.
You're like a smuggler extraordinaire, right? You're kind of like
I think the build we ended up going with was a skiff tracer. Which is like a bounty hunter subclass or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
cool. And then Jamie, yours is Kara.
Kara, she's a slicer.
She's our slicer.
And a Bothan.
A Bothan slicer.
Slicer. That's right. And
I guess I'm kind of drawn to the shorter characters for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Halfling, Bothan,
Yeah. Tully, you're human, right?
Human. Yep.
And then Cults is Twi'lek, and Kel is what?
Chiss, right?
Yep, that's right. Chiss. Blue skin, red-eyed Chiss.
Yeah. So I think Killian, you said you wanted to be
a Wookiee.
Oh, yes!
Did you think of a career?
Yes. I kind of want to be like an explorer kind of scout thing, looking more into like scout because being on Kashyyyk and stuff, there's a lot of great views and stuff, and so I kind of wanted to make him, he wants to explore, he wants to see like great views and stuff that would remind him of his homeworld because because of the Empire, his homeworld hasn't been doing so well recently.
Yeah. Well.
And so he just wants to find beauty in other places.
Wow.
Nice. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You'll find it with us. Believe me.
So much beauty in the world.
We go to some seedy places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this
maybe
might be
he'll
more
help us
the.
find the beauty in them.
That's true.
This might be more the murder hobo group compared to our Strahd.
We could use a little lawful good in this group because we get different males.
He'll be the Groot that holds us together.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, just be Groot.
Yeah.
Well, this campaign has been just amazing, Matt. Thank you for being our dungeon master throughout this.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure. But I don't. Since you're doing such a good job hosting, I don't think we got a chance to ask you what your favorite moment was, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I loved the rhino. I love that I accidentally had a shotgun wedding in a dungeon. That was
good. Yeah.
Was kind of a moment.
King.
Now Talbot had the shotgun. To be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, he did.
Blunderbuss.
Had the boomstick.
Oh yeah, you did get a shotgun. Oh, we never got a chance to use it. Oh, that thing was awesome.
I shot a guy. Yeah.
All right, that's good. I shot a guy.
Got one axe another. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
there were so many great
thanks,
moments.
Thanks, Adam, because you really put Gundrick on the spot. First, I had to do a wedding for you. And where was the wedding?
In the tomb.
In the tomb, in the crypts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With the whole ceiling of bats above us.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very romantic.
Yeah, Barovian wedding.
What every woman dreams of.
Right.
And then Gundrick had to assist with the birth.
Just a few hours later, of course.
Yeah, just a few hours later.
Yep.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense.
So you understand why he just wanted to retire to the Abbey.
Yep.
Right. Thanks. You were the cause of that, Adam.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it could be that.
And he never performed another wedding or birth.
Yeah, that's it.
I loved just for playing Beyond Your any chance I had to get angry at evildoers. I didn't realize I started out playing him as like a neutral good, but towards the end he was definitely leaning more lawful good. He was like anybody that broke the law, he started to get not breaking the law, but morally breaking the law is what just made him pissed off.
I definitely noticed that progression in your character, and I thought it was perfect of where you wound up in the end. So I thought that was very fitting.
Yeah, I felt like that too. I think everybody had like Clark got to have his redemption, seeing Titanius one last time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talbot
that was another one of my favorite moments when Titanius was riding in on that. What was he riding in on again?
I don't remember what his mount was, but he was in the different person's body, right?
Yeah.
Like the souls in Barovia were moving around between just it was Ismark who was
Ismark's body.
Right.
Yep. Came back as Ismark. Yeah, that was awesome. That was dramatic.
There was one other question Bailey asked me earlier in the week. If there was anything awesome I had planned that you guys derailed.
Oh. How many things?
Was this a long list?
Actually, it would probably be easier for you if you asked what didn't we derail.
And that's funny, but it honestly didn't happen that much.
Yeah.
Too often, but there was one thing, man. You guys had been in the castle for like 8 sessions or something like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I was like, and everybody was just like, oh my god, at the end of this we have to fight Strahd and we haven't had a rest and we fought like 100 things. Everybody was like out of spells and down on health and stuff. So you guys find Talbot's wife's tomb down in the catacombs, right?
Oh yeah.
And you open it up and it's Talbot's wedding day inside. But you guys were so scarred by being beat up by something earlier that Gundrick cast a silence spell on the wedding. So I'm like, how are we going to do vows?
Yeah, well.
I thought, in my mind, I was like, that's a nice character moment,
Yep.
And then, I literally was going to have it, if you guys successfully, just watched the ceremony or joined in somehow, you were going to get the benefits of a long rest.
Oh no!
But I pushed a couple of different ways, and you just nope. We have silence.
Wow.
Shut up.
We're not gonna let this lady scream at us like the Banshee did.
Right, the Banshee in the last place.
Banshee messed us up.
Yeah.
Well, because what happened to Talbot with the Banshee?
What's that?
What happened to Talbot with the Banshee? Do you remember?
How many years did you get?
I got 20 years older.
Yeah.
I
think I got hit for 20 years too.
Yeah, I think
maybe
Beyond
more.
Your too.
Yeah, but being a dwarf, that didn't really matter. Now Talbot being human.
Yeah, I went to late middle age.
Yeah.
Early onset middle age.
Boop, just like that.
Yeah.
I think that was like my end of the game story. Was I took care of Talbot in his later years.
Right.
Yeah.
Caretaker.
Well, actually, you're still in where are they
get
again?
that drool. Huh?
I see them as like the odd couple, like shacking up in an apartment in the tower.
And the Sigil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, Talbot's eyesight is fading. Nash is slowly getting less horrible looking, so it doesn't even matter because Talbot can't see it.
Yeah. I can just see the adventures. Just
God,
I was
Like
getting my
mundane
teeth
stuff
back.
too.
Yeah, I was getting my teeth back while Talbot was losing his.
Yeah.
Well,
We're just swapping teeth.
There you go.
maybe for the audience's benefit, we should say that at the end, you know, that some characters elected to stay in Barovia and some wanted to leave. And Talbot got the benefits of being able to be a planar traveler and tried to take the people that wanted to go with him back to Earth to save his wife.
Yeah.
But then, as he was navigating the astral planes, what'd you roll, George?
I rolled double ones. And they ended up in Sigil, which is sort of the center of all planes in the D&D universe. Anybody that planar shifts, Sigil is kind of the wormhole at the middle of all of that stuff. And so that's where we left a lot of the characters.
That's awesome. A
So my
great
last
place.
question is, what would have happened if we attacked the Lich at the end? Because I think we all went, oh.
He had the smirk.
Yeah. The straight answer is an honest fight. I mean, I would have had you guys fight the Lich. Now, the thing about it is, he's a Lich. So even if you guys, even if you destroy a Lich, or kill its form, it doesn't actually kill it. It will just reform later because you didn't destroy its phylactery where its soul is attached to.
Right. What if we destroyed that spell book of his?
What was that?
What if we destroyed that spell book of his?
Yeah.
Spell
I know
book?
he was very fond of it, but he seemed to me a little extra fond of it.
Yeah,
So-
he was not happy that you guys took his spell book, but that was not his phylactery.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys almost found his phylactery.
It was in that treasure room, right, with the whatever the giant android that was there.
No, that's not what it was. It was there was a door in his room.
Oh, yeah.
That
We ran right through.
needed a password to get through.
That's right. It was locked. Yeah, we didn't have the password, or did we?
And that was one of the things I think I teased you guys with at the start of the Amber Temple was I challenged you guys to go back through the plot recaps, and I think I dropped a cheeky hint
Oh,
about a shocking reveal if you were to read the recaps. And if you went back through, and you guys brought the lightning up multiple times already, so I feel like I wasn't too far off. But if the word to open the Lich's door to his phylactery was inscribed above the door of the wizard's tower that shocked you guys.
oh, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you had found that, you would have been able to open the door and then have a proper showdown for the Lich.
Dang, there's so many little details, so many ways to go. Oh man.
Because I think I tried to go through the door.
Yeah.
When I grabbed the book, you were like, no, it's locked.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Lich
all right.
started getting pissed. Yeah.
Yeah. You bolted out the other door.
Yeah, I gotta say too, it took me very much off guard when Nash decided to resurrect the Lich at one point.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was great.
I don't know why I decided to do that. I think I was just I wanted to see what power I had at work.
Made perfect sense at the time.
He was like in a weakened state and couldn't really fight or remember anything. And then you're like, I know what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll
make him whole again.
Which probably would have made him harder to fight, right?
It did make him. It made him a proper Lich. Before that, he was like half his hit points and couldn't remember any of his high-level spells.
Oh, and he could have been like that for the rest of the game?
Right.
The password, password was Kazan.
The password was Kazan.
Oh, I had to scroll through the plot recaps.
We tried that on Clark's armor because Clark had that armor of command.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't it.
Nope. I think for a while there I was just walking up to everything going, Kazan? Kazan. Oh, that was another time I got struck by lightning. Well, I got that staff of power.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we're up to 5 now, at least that I'm counting.
Oh, yeah. At least 5 times struck by lightning.
Definitely.
I think... I guess I don't know that you guys missed this or anything, but I think the most frequent thing that people did with the power to raise the ancient dead, which was what you got at the end of the Amber Temple.
Yeah.
More often than not, people end up finding that dragon skull that you guys found and resurrecting the dragon.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Who was like this lawful good dragon who hates Strahd and will definitely help you.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Instead,
You used it on a
Man.
instead, I make the bad guy twice as powerful. That's how you know I'm neutral. I do half the things I do are smart, and half the things I do are dumb. Half the things I do are right, half the things I do are wrong.
See, it's all about the balance, Nash. It's all about the balance.
And I
great.
think to myself, what else can I touch?
So great.
That's why you play the game, man. You never know what the hell's going to happen with this stuff.
True.
Right?
Yeah, very true.
Such a great game. Hope
It's
anybody
amazing
listening.
we won.
Yeah, we won.
Great. Yeah.
I'm
so awesome.
astonished Bailey survived.
D&D.
Honestly.
We won D&D.
I think somebody took it easy on us.
No. I mean, to be fair, I needed to do something in the last battle because I couldn't bear to part with any of the NPCs until you guys were just taking on a whole extra party with you.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I don't care how good Strahd is. Like, he's not going to do good with an action economy against 12 players, you know?
Yeah.
And
So
so,
a lot of turns.
yeah, having the Lich there as his partner made narrative sense and it made mechanical sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There at the end, and that's definitely something I added. I had to kind of make that up. You know, it really the way it's written should have been technically it's balanced for a party of 4 and one of those NPCs.
Mm.
You guys were a party of 6 with like 5 NPCs.
Yeah.
And big timers, too.
Was
Right.
Victor still a cat at the end too? So I mean, we also had the cat with us.
Yeah. Oh man, I never followed up with Victor. Yeah, Victor's still a cat.
We should have.
Awesome. Is he enjoying it? Is he finally happy?
I did have like if I were to actually make a movie of this in my headcanon, right? Like, I would like the cat to just like show up in all the little random epilogue scenes somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. With a lot of static.
Yep, and somewhere else he's like hiding in a cupboard and he jumps out, right?
Beyond Ear hisses at him.
Yeah, I absolutely would have said him. Probably.
One thing this campaign needed was more Victor, right?
I love all animals, but I would definitely swing a boot at that cat if I saw it.
More Victor.
You were so pissed at that character.
Oh my god!
But he was so metal.
Can we get a little bit of Victor, Matt?
What's that?
Can you do a little Victor for us?
Oh, do I have to?
Anytime we wanted to do anything.
What? Why?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Like just the most like uncreative, immature mind you could think of, wrapped up in a spellcaster.
Yep. Oh, that's great.
Hey, he still blasted all of us.
He did. Son of a gun.
One of the many lightning doors.
Yeah.
So much lightning.
Don't open that out too late.
I'll leave you with what I think one of my favorite almost misses that turned into a success was from my side. Adam, I think when you were up here at one point, we had a good conversation about Irina.
Yeah.
In this adventure. This is similar to lots of other people's experience that I've read about. Irina, who's sort of like the main damsel in distress, plot element, and is challenging because she's pretty weak, but she's with the party basically the entire adventure, or they're more or less responsible for her well-being. And halfway through, I was just not interested in her, and I don't think anybody else was either, right? So we kind of found an excuse to have her leave the party for a while and stay with Mordenkainen, right?
Yeah.
And then in between that time, Adam and I had a conversation, I was just like, man, I'm just not feeling inspired. I don't know what to do with her and stuff. And then, we had a good conversation about it, and was able to kind of pull her back and give her an extra element, which was not anything in the book at all.
That she wanted to fight back.
Yeah, like that she wanted to fight back. She became more powerful and then kind of chose her own fate at the end. Where in the book it very much wants to be that right down the middle, love story, and she goes off into the ether with Strahd's brother.
Yeah,
they live happily ever after, right?
Yeah, and that was a fun twist too, that she decided she wanted to stay with her trainer.
Right. So I found from my perspective, I found a little ways to weave in just a little bit of philosophy there at the end, and a little bit of giving a female character her own agency, right? And doing that kind of stuff as opposed to just being a device, right? So I felt I was pretty proud of that writing wise.
That was an awesome improvement you made.
Yeah.
It did turn out to be like all of a sudden she was like a dynamic character from having been so static.
Yeah. It was a good comeback for her. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I remember the first picture of her. She had that incredible sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think anytime somebody says I improved on something that Chris Perkins wrote, then I'm going to take that as a way for safekeeping.
Yes, absolutely. Great job. Go give a round of applause.
Yes.
Yeah.
For Mr. Matt. Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for agreeing to come together and do this podcast episode. Any final words you want to share? Nope. All right.
DeLorean.
Silence.
Go play. Go run. Oh, actually, don't run out right now, but order it online. Digital download. Get Curse of Strahd. Jump online, and you guys need to play this.
Yeah, run it. Yeah. Run it for your friends, and everybody will love you.
I will leave you with the final thought that the intent of the end of the plot is 100% that Strahd returns over and over again to Barovia, and the adventure and the land over time and over millennia resets itself to be ready for new adventurers to come in and to have your own unique experience every time, and to move the different elements of it around to kind of however suit you and the game that you want to play. So that's one of the most brilliant things about the writing of the book, that it's just meant to be replayed over and over. So that's definitely what the end is for us, with the crack in the sarcophagus and the green smoke leaking out. That's the return of Strahd.
Gotcha. Nice.
And like you said, with the shuffle of the tarot cards, the adventure could be different every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Sun Sword could have been in Strahd's study. You could have got it at the last moment.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's such a great game mechanic.
It really was. And you really kind of built a weekly tradition, or twice a month tradition for us, depending on how busy everyone was. And I really look forward to it every week. So
that's so great.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, I miss it big time. The Star Wars thing is great. I get to get out from behind the screen and play a character now, so that's a whole different kind of creativity. But yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't think I was already thinking about what's the next thing I'd like to do whenever in the future. I'll start nipping at your heels soon, and maybe a few years from now.
Yep. It's awesome. So we have a tradition at Warlando that we have a way we sign out of every episode. That's with the battle cry of the orc. And if you haven't heard it before, the battle cry of the orc is "Wah!" So we're all going to say that together, and I'll give us all a countdown. What does an orc say when it just defeated Strahd? Wah!
Fuck you, Strahd.
Also whatever the dwarf says.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time. Have another beer.
That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. This has been an episode of Warlando. I am Adam. You can reach me as Warlando77 on Twitter, or just Warlando on Instagram. You can reach Mark on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of Warlando Mark. You can reach Nicholas on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of Warlando Nick. Please leave comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to support the show, go to the show notes and follow the link to Teespring and buy a t-shirt. or to Ko-Fi and buy us a coffee, or better yet, buy us a beer. And thank you very much for listening.